500 pounds of protein from a quarter acre of land. That number sounds impossible until you see the layout. A quarter acre is roughly 10,800 square feet. Many suburban backyards already meet or exceed that footprint without the owner ever considering what it could produce. 6 animals arranged in a specific spatial configuration where every waste stream feeds another mouth and every square foot serves a defined production function generate more protein annually than a family of 4 can consume. These animals were not selected for novelty. Each one earned its place on this layout through a single filter. How many pounds of harvestable protein does it add per square foot of space it occupies? The design eliminates the need for purchased feed over time because the animals feed each other through internal waste cycles that strengthen as the system matures. Stay through because by the end, the math will be shown, and it adds up to a number most people would never believe from a space this size. For pure meat production, efficiency on a small footprint, nothing on this layout competes with rabbits. 3 pounds of feed produces 1 pound of meat. Beef cattle require 7 to 8 pounds of feed for the same pound of meat. 3 does and 1 buck, housed in a hutch system along a fence line or property edge, realistically produce 150 to 200 pounds of premium lean meat per year. The footprint is minimal, and the output is enormous relative to the space. Rabbit hutches positioned on wire bottoms above garden beds mean the animals are fertilizing soil continuously below them while they eat, sleep, and grow. Their manure is cold, so it goes directly onto beds without composting first, loaded with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and sulfur. Kits reach harvest weight in 8 to 12 weeks, creating a rotation of available protein across every season. Running total is 150 to 200 pounds. Coturnix quail reach harvest weight in just 8 weeks. No other poultry species on this layout matches that turnaround speed. 50 quail occupy the space of 8 to 10 chickens, making them the most spatially dense protein source available on a quarter acre where every square foot matters. Each hen lays nearly 1 egg per day. Quail eggs contain higher concentrations of protein per gram than chicken eggs. Across 50 birds, the annual egg yield alone converts to a meaningful protein contribution measured in pound equivalents. Meat batches rotate every 8 weeks. Each cycle produces small, dense carcasses prized as a culinary delicacy. 3 to 4 harvest rotations per year from the same housing footprint stack additional pounds onto the total without expanding the layout by a single square foot. Quiet, compact, and backyard legal in most municipalities. Running total, approximately 230 to 280 pounds. Chickens are the animal most homesteaders start with, and the reasoning is straightforward. Dual-purpose heritage breeds, like Rhode Island Reds and Australorps, produce both eggs and meat from the same flock. 15 to 20 hens on a quarter acre, rotated through garden beds on a managed schedule, generate 250 to 300 eggs per hen per year. That volume of eggs adds substantial protein pound equivalents to the annual total. 1 or 2 batches of dedicated meat birds per year, Cornish cross or Freedom Rangers, add 80 to 120 pounds of dressed chicken to the system. Rotated through beds after harvest, the flock scratches up pests, deposits nitrogen-rich manure, and prepares soil for the next planting cycle. Every pass through a garden bed is pest control, tillage, and fertilization happening simultaneously at 0 additional cost. Running total, approximately 340 to 380 pounds. Ducks are often passed over for chickens on small homesteads, and that decision costs both protein and pest control. Khaki Campbell ducks lay up to 340 eggs per year, outperforming most chicken breeds by a significant margin. Duck eggs carry more protein and fat per egg than chicken eggs, making their annual protein contribution per bird notably higher. 6 to 10 ducks on a quarter acre add meaningful egg protein and provide harvestable meat birds throughout the year. Muscovy crosses produce lean carcasses with a red meat texture at 3 to 4 pounds dressed weight. Rotated through garden and orchard areas, ducks eliminate slugs, snails, beetles, and ground-dwelling insects without scratching aggressively into established beds the way chickens do. They are hardy, disease-resistant, and handle wet or cold conditions that would stress a chicken flock. Every duck on this layout earns its space twice, once in protein and once in pest management. The running total is approximately 390 to 430 pounds. Conventional pig breeds would turn a quarter acre into bare dirt within weeks. Coturnix are a completely different animal. This breed from New Zealand thrives almost entirely on grass and forage. Their shorter, upturned snouts graze at the surface rather than rooting aggressively into the ground. Two Coturnix rotated through small paddocks on a quarter acre produce 80 to 120 pounds of premium pork per year, without destroying the pasture beneath them. Feed supplementation is minimal. Garden waste, whey from any dairy processing on the property, and black soldier fly larvae introduced later in this layout cover most nutritional needs beyond what the animals forage themselves. Their manure is a powerful soil-building amendment deposited directly onto pasture during each rotation. They are calm, intelligent, and far easier to handle than commercial breeds. The pork is rich and deeply flavorful, and it is actively sought by chefs and food-conscious buyers. Running total approximately 470 to 550 pounds. The target is hit. Fish convert feed to body mass at a ratio of roughly 1.6 to 1. Nothing else on this layout comes close to that efficiency. A 500 to 1,000 gallon tank or a small in-ground pond fits comfortably on a quarter acre and produces dozens to hundreds of pounds of fish per year, depending on management intensity. Tilapia reach harvest size in 6 to 9 months. Catfish follow similar timelines depending on climate zone. The critical advantage is that fish occupy vertical space in water. They compete with no land-based animals for ground footprint on an already tight layout. Fed almost entirely from internal waste streams, black soldier fly larvae, duckweed grown on manure-enriched water, and kitchen scraps cycling through the system, the fish require almost no purchased feed. Water exiting the tank, loaded with dissolved nutrients, becomes one of the most potent liquid fertilizers available for garden beds and pasture. Directed through a simple grow bed, that water feeds vegetables while the plants clean it before cycling back to the fish. Running total, well beyond 500 pounds. Every pound of protein described so far depends on one question: where does the feed come from? Without an answer, 500 pounds of annual protein requires hundreds of dollars in purchased feed, and the system is not self-sustaining. The black soldier fly bin is that answer. Black soldier fly larvae consume kitchen scraps, animal manure, spoiled produce, and crop waste. Everything the quarter acre generates that the family does not directly eat. Those larvae contain 42% protein and 35% fat. They become premium feed for chickens, quail, ducks, and fish, produced continuously from inputs that cost nothing. The byproduct left behind, called frass, is a potent organic fertilizer loaded with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and beneficial microbes. It replaces every purchased soil amendment on the property. One bin quietly converts the entire waste output of the layout into free feed and free fertilizer simultaneously. Feed cost is the single largest expense on any small homestead. The black soldier fly bin eliminates most of it. 500 pounds of protein, produced on a quarter acre, fed almost entirely by its own waste. Every animal on this quarter acre feeds or supports at least one other. Kitchen scraps enter the black soldier fly bin. Larvae feed chickens, quail, ducks, and fish. Manure from every animal feeds the garden or returns to the bin. Fish water fertilizes vegetable beds. The loop closes. Final protein tally. Rabbits, 150 to 200 pounds. Quail, 50 to 80 pounds. Chickens, 100 to 140 pounds. Ducks, 40 to 60 pounds. Coturnix pigs, 80 to 120 pounds. And fish, 50 to 100 pounds. Total range, 470 to 700 pounds. 500 is the conservative number. Build order. Start with rabbits, quail, and a black soldier fly bin in the first month. Add chickens in the second and third months. Bring in ducks and the fish system in season 2. Layer in Coturnix in season 3 once pasture rotation is established. A quarter acre is not a limitation. It is a protein production system most people never thought to design. Drop a comment and tell us which animal you would add first.